Hi, my name is Debbie Lash and I'm your yoga teacher for today. Thanks for joining me. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up or leave a comment if you have time. Today's practice is 90 minutes. So if you need to leave early for whatever reason, please make sure you give yourself a Shavasana before you leave the practice. Today, we are going to work out for 90 minutes. I've had a lot of requests for these longer classes, which really does fill my heart because it's a wonderful way to really work in and prepare the whole body. So today's intention for the class is really to shift our energy, and I'm going to be offering some inversions, handstands, headstands, tripod headstand. And if they're not in your practice, I will give you some alternatives. You can simply swing your legs up the wall, or maybe you can take a single pigeon, just depending on how you feel. But I'll take you through it. So I've got 2 blocks here. If you want to grab a pillow or a blanket, whatever you need, whatever you have in your home, and come and sit up nice and tall. You could be sitting as I am in Sirsasana, or sitting on your knees and in Virasana. And just gently close the eyes down. Bow the chin to the chest in gratitude. And just take a moment to arrive and observe. How do you feel at this present moment? Start connecting to the breath. And just witnessing the breath as it comes into the body. Breathe in. Pause and hold the breath in. And witness and observe as the breath leaves the body. And then hold the breath out. 2 more rounds just like this. Long inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Last cycle here. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale it out. Bring the hands together at prayer, tapping the thumbs to the sternum, and bowing the chin to the chest. And then just shifting the prayer to the third eye, tapping the thumbs between the eyebrows, finding that connection to your wisdom, your intuition. And inhale here. Keep the lips closed, exhale. Finding Ujjayi breath. 2 more just like this, inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the nose, back of the throat. Inhale. Smooth long exhale, lips closed. From here, we're going to come into Nadi, Shona, alternate nostril breathing, releasing the left hand down on your thigh, right hand alongside the face, and taking your peace fingers and gently bending them down. Snuggling your arm into your ribs and thumb over the right nostril, ring finger over the left. Just have the fingers hovering around the bridge of the nose, and inhale through both nostrils. Close off the right nostril, exhale left. Inhale left. Close off the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Pause and shift, exhale left. Just balancing the left and right side of the brain, inhale left. Close off the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Pause and switch, exhale left. Inhale left. Pause and switch. Inhale right. Pause and switch. Inhale left. Close off the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close off the right, exhale left. Inhale left. Pause and switch. Inhale right. Close off the right, exhale left. One more cycle, inhale left. Close off the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close off the right, exhale left. Hands at heart center. If you'd like to bring an intention or even a dedication to the class, maybe offering all the energy cultivated here to someone or those who need it more than you today. Let's open with one chant of Om, deepest breath in. Om. Inhale, open the eyes. Gently lift the gaze. All right, yogis, let's start by lying all the way down on our back. And actually, we're going to set the blocks up. If you haven't got blocks, you can use a pillow, or you can just skip the whole part with blocks and just lie all the way on your back. So this is just a nice way to open the chest. The block number 1 is on level 2, and it's long ways. And we're going to lie all the way back. So this block is underneath your shoulder blades, knees are bent. And then I like to pick this block up highest level, and it's resting, my back of my head's resting. The feet are as wide as the mat. I'm rolling the shoulders down and away from the ears, and my palms are facing up towards the ceiling. And just take a moment and just let your back ribs release down into the blocks. And connect back to the breath, inhaling through the nose. Maybe you want a big sigh out here. And find your rhythm. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. If you're ready for Ujjayi breath, that soft whisper, it almost feels like it's grazing the back of the throat. Exhaling here. Walk your feet together to touch, and then gently let the knees fall open. And walk your heels back towards your sit bones, big toes press in towards each other. And you're going to stay here for 10 cycles of breath. You just breathe at your own pace in your own time. And this is a really nice hip opener. But just observe how you feel. We'll do this pose again at the end of the class. And I just want you to notice how your energy would have shifted, and especially the mindset. If you're in any conversations, just sweep them to the side and just start to link your thoughts to the breath. Big toes pressing in towards each other. Pinky toes releasing down into the mat. 5 more cycles of breath. And I just like to visualize the breath moving, inhaling up the front spine, and then exhaling, pressing it down the back spine all the way to the tailbone. Two more cycles of breath here. And from here, we're going to keep the body simply as it is, just resting and releasing down onto the blocks. Or maybe you're resting and releasing, surrendering down into your mat, into the earth. Inhale, draw the knees to center, and extend the right leg straight, and just point and flex the foot, circle the ankle, just warming up our ankle joints. And then pause here, just heel on the floor, and then just open Spread the toes and then squeeze and fold them tight. Do that about 5 times. Just activating our feet and toes and joints. And pause. And then just take the left foot out to meet the right and just do the same thing. Circle the ankle maybe 3 times one way, 3 times the other, and then point and flex. Place the foot on the floor. Both feet are flexed and now just open and close. Scrunch the left toes up and then spread them. See if you can bring space between the toes. And when you're ready, just walk your heels, inner ankles together so they touch. I'm going to hook my thumbs together and then inhale. Feel like you want to tickle the ceiling with your fingertips, and then exhale, press your back ribs down and draw your shoulders down. Inhale, lift the arms up and over the head, but your biceps are snuggling in towards the ears. And you're going to breathe from your fingertips down your arms. Inhale, all the way to your hips. And now exhale, press the breath out through the legs, out through your feet. Change the hook of the thumbs. And now flex the feet, inhale through the soles of the feet, up the thighs. And exhale, release out through the mouth. Bringing your hands down to the side. Rebend your knees and you're gently going to roll to the right side and just roll off the blocks if you're on them and just push or place the blocks to the side. And then come all the way down onto your back, finding happy baby. Lift up, grab the outsides of the feet, elbows on the inside. And if this feels challenging, hands on the back of the thighs. Just have a look, try and bring your ankles over the knees. And then energetically, you're lifting the heels up towards the ceiling and then slightly kick them back so you can feel your sacrum connect to the mat. Some of you are going to hold and find stillness. Some of you will want to rock side and to side. And it feels really nice. It feels like I'm just massaging the creases of the block out of my back. Notice if the connection to the breath has slipped away. Often it does when the mind wakes up or we're listening. And just pause here. Keep the right leg bent. Inhale. You might want to grab your big toe and then just straighten the left leg as much as you can. Stay here. 5 cycles of breath. And again, kick the heels back. The sacrum down. Soft whisper back of throat. Just make sure you're looking straight up so the neck is long and finding length. And always try and keep the natural curves in the back of the neck. So maybe you might be pinning your chin to the chest so the back of the neck is flat. And you don't want that. Just try and keep the natural curves. How does your hamstring feel? And then change sides. Bend the left knee again. Happy baby. Grab your right big toe. And then lengthen. 5 cycles of breath. Just warming up the hamstrings. Just taking it nice and easy. This is more about grounding and warming the body up. Notice how the jaw feels. If the teeth are clenching, maybe you need to soften a little. Maybe soften the eyes. And V-shape with the legs. Nice hip opener and hamstring lengthener here. 5 cycles of breath. And again, you can rock side to side here. Feels really good. So do lots of work with the hamstrings today. We want our hamstrings nice and open for our handstands. And when you're ready, we're going to lift both legs all the way up to the ceiling. Hands underneath the buttock flesh if you're looking for a little bit more support. So maybe you might just grab the edges of your mat and just stay here. 1 minute, again, connecting to breath. This is Vipariti Karani, and it's resetting your parasympathetic nervous system, just bringing the body into rest and digest. It's a really wonderful restorative pose but it's also an inversion because your legs are above the heart space. So you'll come into this pose if you don't want to go upside down. Maybe you're on your moon cycle, maybe you have a bit of fear about going upside down. So maybe you just actually don't feel like it today. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. You can take this pose to the wall. You can even put a block underneath your sacrum so your hips are lifting up. So just choose wisely, choose what feels good. And don't feel like you have to do anything today that you don't want to do. And if you want to add poses that I'm not giving, please be, you are your best teacher. Please do what you need to. And now we're going to start to warm the core up. So hands behind the head. Inhale here. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. So we always squeeze the belly and the breath out of the belly as we lift up. And you've got 3 more. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Keep the elbows wide. Last one here. And then reach the hands up. Maybe you can touch the toes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, hands behind the head. Exhale here. Point the toes. Inhale, lower. You can have the head on the floor or you can lift the shoulders. Exhale, lift. So obviously, shoulders lifted is going to feel more dynamic. Good. Inhale, lower. Point the toes. Exhale, lift. Squeezing the muscles to the bone. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. So it's super important to have a strong core for these inversions. A lot of work comes from the core. Yes, there's a lot of strength work in the legs and the arms, but it's the core. It helps us lift up. That's it. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Last one here. Good. Bring both hands up. You can brace your head on the floor. Steeplechase in the fingers, so that's bringing the 4 fingers together. Both hands on the outside of the right thigh. And now lift that right shoulder off the floor. Inhale, lower the left leg. Exhale, lift up. Good. 4 more. And keep lifting that right shoulder. Has a tendency to want to release down. That's it. And last one here. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Other side. Squeeze and now lift that left shoulder. Inhale, lower the right leg. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. If at any point you need to put your head on the floor, you can. And 1 more. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Good. Hands underneath the buttock flips. We're just going to lift the hips. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale with the hips on the floor. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Try not to swing the legs. Lift the hips. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Good. Keep going. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. 2 more. Last one. And pause. Bend the knees. We're going to rock and roll boat pose. Inhale. Exhale, lift. 4 more. So we're massaging the spine, warming it up. Lifting into boat pose. 2 more. Should feel nice and playful. Last one here. You're going to lift up, stay up. Pause. Some of you are going to maybe even take a rest, put your hands down. Some of you are going to keep your hands on the back of the thighs. Some of you are going to reach forward. Some of you are going to lift up. Let's hold it for 5. 4. Roll those inner thighs down if the feet are legs are extended. 3. Lifting the chest towards the thigh towards the chest. 2. Point the toes. And 3. Lower all the way down. We're going to roll all the way onto our bellies. And this is going to feel nice. Come up onto the elbows into Sphinx pose. And then lift and stretch the belly. Some of you are going to stay right here. So this is warming the upper thoracic, but stretching our core. Point the toes, and so the knees and the thighs lift. Some of you are looking for a deeper stretch. You're going to lift the forearms up and away from the floor. Stay here. 5 cycles of breath. If you want to check in with the mobility of your neck, you're going to look to the right. Inhale. Exhale, center. Inhale, look to the left. I see you. Exhale, center. 2 more cycles of breath. Just close your eyes, go in. You can even start to walk the hands back a little closer. Keep pressing the pubic bone down. Pull the shoulders, blades down the spine. Inhale here. Exhale, lower down. Come back up onto the elbows. Forearm plank. So a little bit more core work. You're going to feel the residue of where we just were. So stay right here. Some of you will be finding stillness. I'm always quite a kinetic person. I like to move. So I'm just stretching my feet and my toes. That's it. Shoulders over the wrists. Lift the heart. And then soften the wrinkles in the back of the neck. And then lift your thighs up. Good. We're going to drop both heels over to the right. Just have a look. Make sure your feet are beyond hips distance. And it feels like we're going to wring out our waist here. So a nice amount of core work, front body, back body, side body. When you think about the abdominals, they are 360 degrees. That's it. Good. Pause here. Inhale here. Exhale here. 1 more cycle of breath. And then we're going to drop the knees to the floor. Come up onto the hands and knees. Tabletop position. Good. And I always like to stretch out my wrists. If you practice with me, you'll be very familiar with this. So just spinning the fingers back towards the knees. And if you'd like to take cat-cow this way, if it's not too painful or stressful in the wrists, now lift the back ribs up, drop the head, look back between the thighs. Connect movement to breath. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, round and round, cat pose. 4 more just like this. Just go at your own pace, your own time. Close your eyes. Find the rhythm. Breath moves through the body like a wave. Just healing and nourishing. And last one here. Inhale. Exhale here. Good. Spin the fingers facing back to center. And we're going to stand on the top of the hands. So spread your fingers wide. A lot of people like just to keep one hand with the palm facing down, or you can try 2. Now lift the back ribs up. So there's this tendency to start arching your back here, but I want you to lift up round, and then we're just going to bend the fingers. So notice how this feels. This can feel really intense in some people's bodies. I've got clients who find it very hard to make this fist action. Actually, they're almost impossible in their hands. So notice how this feels in your body. Soften the jaw. 1 more each side. And then come and sit down on your knees. Good. Shake out the hands. And inhale. You're going to float your right arm up and then spin your palm to the back. And then exhale. Bend your elbow. And then bring your left hand up to your right elbow. And pause. Good. Inhaling here. Just sit your buttocks down on the heels. Exhaling here. Just opening the shoulders. And just softly draw your front ribs in. It's called hugging them in. 1 more cycle of breath. And we're always looking for where we can soften. Inhale, release the right arm. And exhale, left arm up, spin the palm back, bend the elbow. And then just walk the forearm into the back of the head, bow chin to chest, and then lift the chin. So you find that connection through the back of the head and the forearm. Close your eyes. Just notice how it feels right side to left. Is there any difference? Maybe not. Or maybe it's quite significant. I've actually got a sore, I've got a rotator cuff issue going on. So actually, just so you know, I don't lower all the way or halfway down in my chaturanga. Well, I do, but I keep my knees on the floor. And this is because of this little niggle going on. And release. Cross the right arm over the left. So this is the counter pose. This is Garudasana, eagle pose. If it feels tight for the bind, give yourself some love and squeeze the top arm down, lift the bottom arm up, or you can take the full bind. Squeeze the forearms together, lift the elbows up, and then hands away from the face. 5 cycles of breath here. Activate your feet by spreading the toes and pressing all 10 toenails into the floor, pressing your shins down as you inhale. Breathe in and lift up through the spine. And then exhale. Release down. Open the arms wide. Breathe in. And right arm over the left. Inhale, lift. Or is it left arm over the right? Just make sure it's the opposite one. And again, just observe. How does it feel? Right side to left, left side to right. Is there any tension in your body? How does this pose feel? We'll play a lot with the Garudasana arms today. It's because it really is a nice way to open the shoulders. And inhale, arms wide. And exhale. Come into tabletop position. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, round, and just gently lift the knees off the floor. So this is a nice core stabilizer. And just stay right here. Drop the head, and you might just want to shake the head. And keep pressing down through the feet. And start to lift your knees and your hips up. Oh, that nice stretch. I don't know if you're going to get a clicking in your toes. And then roll over the feet. Roll over your toes. Nice pedaling through the feet. And just have your little wiggle. If there's any rituals or anything that you love to do in downward facing dog, take it. And just know that down dog is like home base. You're going to come back to it over and over again through the practice. And down dog can turn into child's pose at any point. And inhale. And open mouth, exhale. Inhale, come high on the tippy toes. Bend the knees. Gently tiptoe one foot in front of the other. All the way up to the top of the mat. Feet between the hands. Half lift. Adho Uttanasana. Just stay here. Bend the knees. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold and bow. Some of you might want to take your feet even a little wider here. Just early in the practice, grab the elbows, snuggle your ears between the biceps, and just gently pull your elbows down towards your big toes. If you have got tight hamstrings, a juicy bend in the knee is going to feel much better, and it's going to be a lot more kinder. So we really want to weave in peace and kindness and love towards our body in the practice. And gently change the cross of the elbows. And again, maybe release the head by a soft nod. Yes, yes, yes. No, no, no. Release the hands all the way down. And now take the feet as wide as the mat. We're going to take a nice twist here, reaching the left hand towards the right ankle or the shin, just depending on your flexibility. A lot of you will feel better if you bend your left knee, and then we're just going to reach up and then hug. Find that whisper of cat pose, lift your head, and then look all the way up to your thumb. And again, if there's any pain in the neck, you can look to the sidewall or look straight down to your right foot. But stay here, 5 cycles of breath. And one more cycle here. And exhale, lower. Other side, right hand to left ankle. Bend the right knee and then lift up. Lift up, look up. Find a single point of focus. And just stay with the breath. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the nose. Squeeze your hips into the midline. It's hugging them in. And then press your head back. Imagine you are finding that alignment through the back of the neck and the head. And one more cycle of breath wherever you are. And exhale. Lower all the way down. So we're going to turn our feet out, ready for Malasana yogi squat. So bend the knees. Stay right here. Hands at prayer. So you've got the option to stay right here. Some of you might be ready to bind already, or maybe a half bind or a full bind. So I'm going to drop the right hand down, left arm up. So this is your nice half bind. You can even just grab your shirt. You could grab a strap if this is something you're working on, and just stay right here. 5 cycles of breath. Find even standing in the feet. Samastahi. Roll and lift the shoulder. And then connect thoughts to the breath. One more cycle of breath here. And release. Other side. Good work, yogis. Left hand down, right arm up. Spin the palm back. When you spin the palm, you're opening the back of the shoulder. Half bind, full bind. 5 cycles of breath. So I'm going to give you the options to weave and bind through the practice. But again, they're just optional. So just choose wisely for your body. Half bind is a really great place to start if your shoulders are still feeling a little tight. And release. Inhale, exhale here. We're going to stand all the way up. So press through the feet. Inhale, stand. That feels pretty good. Exhale, lower. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, parallel the feet. Tadasana, mountain pose. Roll the shoulders down. Big toes touching. Heels slightly apart. Some people like to have their feet apart. So just again, what feels good in your body. Maybe try both. Just close the eyes down. And you're drawing your tailbone down towards the back of your knees. And then lift the sternum. Close your eyes, turn your attention inward. This is what the practice is. How do you feel from the inside out? Just shutting down all the external distraction. And Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, both arms up, lift up, look up, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold and bow. Inhale, half lift, and we're just going to step all the way back into plank. Shift the weight forward. I'm dropping my knees to the floor, lowering all the way down to low cobra. Drag the hands back. Inhale, lift the chest. Just a gentle baby cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Knees, tuck toes, downward facing dog. 3 cycles of breath here. Finding stillness in the down dog. Activate the hands. Press all 10 knuckles into the mat. Heels pressing down as your belly draws in and up. Deep breath in. Open mouth, sigh out. Good. Inhale, lift the heels. Bend the knees. 2 steps to the top. Half lift, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold and bow. Press down through feet. Inhale, rise. Drawing your wisdom back into the heart. Good. 3 more rounds. And if you don't want to do 3 more rounds and you only want 1 or 2, we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Remember, you can take child's pose when you want it. I'm taking up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Spread the toes. Have a look at your feet. Make sure they're hips distance. A little bend in the knees if you need to. Inhale, lift the heels. Bend the knees. You can step walk or if you're ready to jump. How's your energy today? Do you want to be a practice of stepping it up? Or do you want to be slowing it down? 2 more. Movement to breath. If you want to close your eyes, make this a moving meditation. Eyes closed, inward turn. Downward facing dog. Let the forefinger and the thumb dominate. Notice if you're in the pinky side of the hand and roll into the forefinger and the thumb. Lift the back ribs up. Down dog is actually an extension of cat pose. So we're really trying to lift those back ribs up. Inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees. Maybe you're ready to float to the top. Half lift, Adho Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, rise. Hands to heart. Last round, we'll all meet in downward facing dog. If you want to skip it, step straight into down dog. Three cycles of breath. We're going to move from here. Notice what's happening to the head. If your head is dropped and you're looking all the way up to the thighs, just gently lift just so your ears are in line with your biceps. And this stops the chest from collapsing down. Inhale, float the right leg. I'm just going to spin around actually. The right leg straight back. Put a bend into the knee. Open up the hip. Circle the ankle. Both ways. Pause here. Inhale, lift the left heel. Exhale, lower. So this feels really good in my hamstring. Last one here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Straighten your right leg. Square the hips. Inhale, high tippy toes. Knee to nose round. Exhale. 2 more, just like this. Inhale, three-legged dog. Knee to nose round. Last one. Now hold here. Lift up. Press the floor away with the hands. Find that cat pose in the upper back. Kick the heel to the buttock. And look forward. Step it through. Left knee drops down towards the floor. Inhale. Lift both arms up. Exhale. Sink into the front hip. Good. Just depending on how your shoulders feel, but you want to pull the shoulders down and away from the ears. So that might mean that your hands slightly drift forward. Rotate the fingers in towards, little pinky fingers in towards, so it opens up through your shoulder blades. And just have a look and make sure your knee is over the ankle. Inhale, bring both hands forward. Exhale, left arm over right, eagle arms. And again, remember you can take hand to opposite shoulder. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink. 5 cycles of breath here. Some of you are going to stay right here because this feels really good and feels like you're opening the shoulders and getting that hip over. Some of you are just going to want to lean back and open the chest a bit more. 3 cycles of breath. Inhale, lifting all the way up. Release both hands inside the right foot. Just coming into lizard pose. Coming down, you can use a block here. It's a great idea if your elbows don't comfortably meet the mat. And then lift the chest. Squeeze and hug your right knee into the shoulder. And just stay right here. If you really need to, and you've got abundance of energy today, you can tuck the back toe and lift up. And 2 more cycles of breath. And inhale, come up onto the hands. Exhale, just move the block out the way. Keep both hands inside. We're just going to come back into half splits round. Good. Inhale, lift the chest, flex your right foot. And then exhale, maybe you can tiptoe the hands forward. If this feels really intense, you can have blocks either side. So I really encourage you to use blocks. Some people look at them like, you know, it's a sign of weakness or they don't need them, they're more advanced. But I really look at yogis who use the blocks as a sign of an advanced yogi. I use them all the time. And one more cycle of breath here, just opening the hamstring. Inhale, bend the front knee. And taking a gentle twist. You can use the block here, left hand down, right arm up. Some of you are going to lift up. You can stay here, T-shape, or you can take the arm up and over. Now hug the hips in. 5 cycles of breath. Just close your eyes. Notice how the poses feel. Inhale, right arm up. We're going to bring that right hand inside the right foot. Drop the left heel down. And again, a block here is going to feel really good. Peel the left arm up. 5 cycles of breath. Extended side angle pose. Now find plank pose in that side waist. We press down, we lift up. And notice if the head's dropping. And then sharpen the back leg. Arm up and over. That's it. Full expression of the pose. We press down through the grounded hand to lift the side waist up and then spin the chest up towards the ceiling. Your pinky finger is below the thumb. That's it. Squeeze and hug your right hip in. Good. One more cycle of breath here. Inhale, top arm up. Exhale, both hands to the floor, hands either side of the foot. Pivot that back foot so you're going to float the right leg all the way up. Standing splits. Exhale, walk the hands back towards your left foot. And again, you could have blocks underneath your hands. I'm going to take the left hand behind my ankle, drawing the forehead towards the shins. 2 more cycles of breath. Just how's your balance? And when you're ready, walk back into downward facing dog. 3-legged plank. Shift the weight forward. Lower halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left side. Inhale, float the left leg straight back. Good. Put a bend into the knee. Open up the hip. Circle the ankle. Going to do that both ways. That's it. And look towards your right foot. Now inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. I love how this feels in my body. How does it feel in your body? Let me know in the comments. And square the hips, straighten the leg. Inhale here. Knee to nose round. See if you can touch the knee to the nose. It's a really nice way to see if you're making progress in your practice. And round and round, hold. Now look down at your thumbs. Lift those back ribs up. Good. And lift the chin forward. Step the left foot between the hands. Drop the right knee down. Both arms up. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink into the front thigh. And again, sweep the pinky fingers in towards each other. Activate the back foot by spreading the toes, pressing all 5 toenails into the floor. And then sink into that left hip. Hug the left hip in and let that right hip release forward. Inhale, bring both arms forward. This time, right arm over the left. Maybe you can take self-love or eagle arms, Garudasana. Inhale, lift, hands behind, hands away from the face. And then notice your front ribs. Hug them in. There's that whisper of cat pose. It presents itself in so many of the poses. Some of you are staying right here. Some of you are just going to press through that back foot to lift and open the chest. 3 cycles of breath. Inhale, lift. Both hands released inside the left foot. And I always walk my left foot to the left a little. Inhale, lizard pose. Exhale, come down onto the elbows or a block. Even if one elbow is slightly lifting off the floor, grab a block, a pillow, or even a book, and bring the floor to your elbows, because this allows you to press the elbows down so you find that whisper of cat pose here. Snuggle and hug the left knee in. And some of you, I know who you are, will be lifting that back knee off the floor, maybe rocking forwards and backwards. That tendency to drop the head. I do it all the time. So just press the crown of the head away from that back heel if that knee's lifted. And inhale, come up onto the hands. Breathe in, lift the chest, release the back toes of the foot. Exhale, round. Good, inhale, lift the chest. Tiptoe fingers forward. 5 cycles of breath here. Flex the left foot and then you start turning your left pinky toe back towards your left hip. If there's any pain in your hamstring, bend the knee. So we'll be visiting full splits in this practice today too. So this is half splits, and you don't have to do full splits. You can stay right here. Maybe this is where the work is. Good. Inhale, bend the front knee. And we're going to take the twist. Right hand down, left arm up. Back knee can stay down, or you can pop it up. 5 cycles of breath here, and then hug. So when you squeeze your buttocks together, the hips simultaneously hug in. Shoulder over the wrist. That's it. Some of you will look down if the neck has got tension or there's any pain. Arm up and over. That's it. Spin the chest open. You're doing so well. And inhale, top arm up. I'm going to bring my left hand inside. You're going to have my back towards you just for a moment. Drop the back heel down, extended side ankle pose. Parsvarkanasana, 5 cycles of breath here. So this is keeping the T-shaped arm. Firm that back leg. That back heel is pressing to the back of the mat. And then arm up and over. And again, you can use the block here and just lift up. Find side plank in the sideways. Spin the chest. Hug that left hip in. Inhale, top arm up. Exhale, hand to the floor. Good. 3-legged down dog. Float the left leg straight back. Inhale. Standing splits. Exhale. Walking the hands back. If you can stay in down dog, if this doesn't work for you, then you can take a child's pose here if you need. I know we're all at different levels. It really is just honoring where you're at today. Don't judge. Just accept and observe. And walking the hands back. Inhale, come forward into 3-legged plank. Exhale, halfway. Roll over toes up dog. Exhale. Downward facing dog. 3 lovely long cycles of breath here. Inhale, come high on the tippy toes. Bend the knees, step walk, or maybe a jump up. Half lift, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold and bow. Utkatasana chair. Bend the knees, drop the hips. Shift the weight into the heels. Inhale, both arms up. 5 cycles of breath. Lift the chin. Notice that tendency to look down. You can, while you're looking down, make sure the knees aren't over the toes and then hug those shins and the knees back and then sit lower. Again, hug the ribs in. And when you're ready, you're going to stand all the way up. Samastahi, even standing. Samafriti, even breathing. Take a deep breath in. And a big sigh out. Utkatasana chair. Bend the knees, drop the hips. Forward fold and bow. Uttanasana. Half lift, breathe in. Step or jump back. Vinyasa. Or meet me in down dog. You can skip it. Inhale, float the right leg straight back. Exhale, step the right foot between the hands. Back heel down, warrior one. Inhale. Exhale, stay here. 3 cycles of breath. Hands behind the back. Roll the shoulders down. Inhale, lift the chest. 3 cycles of breath. You can drop the head or chin to chest, whatever feels good in your neck. But standing strong into that back leg. Sink into the front thigh. Humble warrior. Inhale here. Exhale, humble warrior. Some of you are going to do better resting the ribs on the thigh, just looking straight down. Some of you love to drop that right shoulder inside the right knee, and now hug the right knee, the right hip in. That's it. Lift the back knee and back thigh of your left leg. Drop the head. Effortless ease. Head is heavy. And gravity is your best friend here. Crown of the head releasing down towards the floor. Firm the back leg. Stand into the back foot. Both arms up. Breathe in, warrior one. Exhale, hands to the floor. 3-legged down dog. 3-legged plank. Adho Chaturanga. You can miss it if you don't want to keep the leg lifted. Downward facing dog. Left side. Inhale, float the left leg back. 3-legged down dog. Knee to nose round. Step it through. Warrior one. 3 cycles of breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink here. Should start to feel the body getting a little warmer now. Hands behind the back. Inhale. Roll the shoulders. Exhale. 3 cycles of breath here. Hands pressing inside the right thigh. Lift the chest. Sink into that front thigh as you sharpen the back leg. Humble warrior. Inhale here. Exhale, humble warrior. I like to walk my left foot over to the left, create a bit more space, and then hug. Hug and firm that left hip in. Drop the head, look all the way up between the thighs or look towards your back foot. But find a single point of focus. Notice if your eyes are dancing around the room. And if they are, a great way to just move through that is to close them and go in. Just shut down the external distraction. Press into the back foot. Inhale, both arms up. Hands to the floor. Exhale. Float the left leg straight back. Inhale. 3-legged plank. Exhale, Adho Chaturanga. Roll over toes. Downward facing dog. 3 cycles of breath. So we're going to do the same thing again, but 1 breath per movement. So we're not going to hold it. So it's going to go a little faster. And we're going to do 2 rounds with holding humble warrior for 3 cycles of breath each side. So we're going to do 2 more rounds of this. If you only want to take 1, you can stay in down dog, or you can take a child's pose, or actually anything else that feels good for you today. Inhale, come high on toes. Bend the knees, step, walk or float. Half lift, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Inhale, lift. Exhale, standing up. Samastahi, hands to heart. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Inhale. Uttanasana. Exhale. Inhale, Adho. Step or jump back. Vinyasa. Right foot steps forward. Try not to lift the leg, a bit more of a traditional Ashtanga approach. Inhale, lift. Warrior one. Exhale, hands behind the back. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, humble warrior. 3 cycles of breath. Lift those shoulder heads up and away from the floor. Spread the toes and press evenly into both feet. Stand into the back foot. Inhale, both arms up. Hands to the floor. 3-legged down dog. Remember, you can skip the vinyasa in between if that's where you're at today. Left foot forward. Inhale. Back heel down. Exhale. Both arms up. Hands behind the back. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, humble warrior. 3 cycles of breath here. Where can you soften? Tongue, jaw, eyes, forehead, maybe the grip of the hands. And stand into the back foot. Inhale, both arms up. Hands to the floor, vinyasa or skip. Downward facing dog. Count the breath, 3 cycles. Should be feeling nice and warm now. You can certainly feel a good amount of heat in the body. We've taken it good pace. Inhale, high tippy toes. If you don't want to do this last round, you can stay in down dog. Take child's pose, Utkatasana chair. Standing all the way up. Samastahi, hands to heart. Last round. We'll all meet in down dog. Half lift, breathe in. Step or float back. Vinyasa. Right foot forward. Warrior one. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands behind. Inhale, lift the chest. Humble warrior, exhale. 3 cycles of breath. Stand into the back foot. Vinyasa or straight to down dog. Left foot forward, inhale. Back heel down, inhale, lift. Exhale. Humble warrior. Firm and squeeze the left hip in as the right hip rolls forward. Lift the shoulders up as you lift the belly and the ribs up and away from the floor. Finding that whisper of cat pose here. Press into the back foot. Inhale, both arms up. Vinyasa. 3-legged dog. 3-legged plank. Ardha Chaturanga. How's it going? Still with me? Downward facing dog. Heart rate should feeling elevated. Start to burn through all that sticky stuff that accumulates in the body. Walking the hands back towards the feet. Grab your big toes with your peace fingers. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend the elbows. Drop the head. Look all the way up between your thighs. You can bend the knees here. And just imagine all the junk and anxiety and stress and fear just tumbling out through the crown of the head. Just release and let go of what's not serving you right now. And this is what shifts our energy when we bring the head below the heart space. Seeing things from a different perspective. Good, and Utkatasana chair. Walk the feet together. Inhale. High on tippy toes. Exhale, lower. Malasana, yogi squat, or Vrksasana for my arm balance friends. Good, look down, find cat pose here. Kick one heel to the buttock. Good, stay here. We're not going to jump back, kick back. Just going to stay right here. We're going to visit this pose again. And when you're ready, both feet to the floor, Utkatasana chair. Standing all the way up, Samastahi. Good, Utkatasana chair pose. Forward fold and bow. Inhale, half lift, walking into downward facing dog. Inhale, float the right leg straight back. Right knee, right elbow, glide forward. Exhale. Good, hold it here. Inhale, three-legged dog. Cross it over to the left and then hold, lift up. There's your twist. Inhale, three-legged dog. Warrior one, step it through. We're just here for one breath. Both arms up, breathe in. Transition. Warrior two. Walk back, right foot to the left. And your whole body opens to the side. And then exhale, sink into the front thigh. So you can weave in that eagle arm. Left arm over right. You can take self-love. Inhale, lift the elbows. Exhale, sink into that front thigh. So you've got the option with the head. Inhale, turn the head, look over your front shoulder. You can even look down to your knee. Make sure that knee is firming out to the right. Has a tendency to roll in. So we use the inner thigh, squeezing it to the outer thigh. Keep lowering down. You can all go lower. I know you can, including myself. Last cycle of breath here. Inhale, open the arms. Straight in the front leg. Exhale, hinge forward. I'm going to grab my block. Triangle pose. So I need to rebend that front knee. I like to set the back foot up. And then notice my arms are stacked. So this is a lovely T shape here. And the reason I use the block, because when I'm on the ground, my body, I've lost the shape of the pose. So the shoulder should be in line with the hip. In Ashtanga, some people grab the big toe, which is great. And now find that side plank, lift up. You can stay here with the T shape. If this feels good in your body, you're like, I'm so golden. Otherwise, a full expression of the pose, arm up and over. So this is Uhita, means to intensify. And that's exactly what we do when we take the arm up and over the head. Rebend that front knee just a smidge, a whisper of a bend in that front knee. Sharpen the back leg, lift up. That's it. One more cycle of breath. Inhale, top arm up. Top hand on the hip. Ardha Chandrasana. Bend the front knee. I like to look down, slide my block forward, and then I lift up. Make sure the grounded foot hasn't turned. It really has this habit of turning. You don't even know it. And then I like to look back, make sure I can see the toes of my back foot, top arm up. Rebend the standing leg. Squeeze and hug the hip in. For all my alphas, you can take the arm up and over the head. So you've got this lovely long line of energy from the back heel. As you press that back heel back, reach through the fingertips. Snuggle the ribs in. And some of you are going to stay here. Some of you are going to come into Japasana if that's part of your practice. That's it. Kick the heel to the buttock. Good. Inhale. Now kick the foot into the hand and lift up. 5 cycles of breath. Don't worry if you're not balancing just yet. But notice the more you kick the foot in the hand, it lifts the chest up. And it lifts that grounded hand away from the block or the floor. Bottom hand down. Extend. Warrior two. Bend the knee. Step back. Flip the palms. Reverse it. Inhale. Windmill the hands to the floor. And we're just going to tiptoe the hands so we're facing long ways on the mat. Good. Inhale, hands on the hips. Squeeze the elbow heads in. Inhale, rise. Exhale here. Good. Inhale, both arms wide. Rotate the palms back. Pasarita Padottanasana. Clasp the hands. Roll the shoulders down. Lift the chest. Inhale. Exhale, hinge forward, look down, soften the back of the neck. Shift the weight forward so you feel your toes. Exhale, up and over. And again, these forward folds are really lovely and grounding, as it allows us to physically turn in, forward folding, but mentally allowing us to close our eyes and just investigating. How do we feel? Where can we soften? What's happening inside versus what's happening externally? Hug the belly in, lift your knees and thighs. Notice this tendency to sit in the heels. And you'll see, if you look at your heels, they'll be very white, all the blood pressing down, so you're just going to shift. Shift those hips so they're in line with your ankles. And when you're ready, inhale, you're going to lift all the way up. Exhale here. Good. Skandasana. Turn your right foot to the toes to the top of the mat. Bend into the knee and just sink the heel towards the buttocks. Some of you are going to keep the hands in prayer. Some of you might be at a half bind, full bind. 5 cycles of breath. This is a really nice hip opener. Lift and open the chest. And now you're going to point your left toe. This can feel incredibly intense in people's bodies. This used to not feel so accessible to me. The hands down always feels good, and you can even put a block underneath the sit bones and still get all the benefits without it kind of screaming in your body. Good, and we're going to shift sides. So this time left toes turn out. Good, flex the foot. So you get to choose. Hands on the floor. Hands at prayer. If you took a bind on the first side, take a bind on the second. Start with the foot flexed, and then you're going to shift into pointing the toe. But lift the chest. You're finding Sphinx pose in the chest, lifting the chest up and away from the floor. Make sure the jaw's soft, tongue. The tendency when the hips are tight, we clench the teeth, clench the jaw. And release. Going to turn back to the top of the mat. Vinyasa or skip, you choose. I'm taking 3-legged down dog, 3-legged plank, Ardha Chaturanga, up and back. Downward facing dog. I'm just going to spin around. Good, inhale. Float the left leg straight back. Left knee, left elbow, glide forward. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Cross it over to the right. Inhale, slowing it down. Knee to nose round. 1 breath in, warrior 1. Inhale, both arms up. Open up, warrior 2. That's it. Open the side body. Inhale here. Exhale, release. Good. Look to the back hand. Notice if it's down, lift it up, and then shift the energy. Sharpen the back arm, and then crossing the right arm on top of the left. Inhale, float the elbows. Exhale, sink down. 5 cycles of breath here, with the option of turning the head, looking over that front shoulder as you firm the left knee to the left, front lean to the left. Hug the ribs in. Squeeze your forearms. Lift the elbows. All of you sink lower. Yes, I see you. I know how you feel. I'm with you on it. And inhale, open the arms wide. Release by reversing the warrior. Inhale, lift up. Triangle, straight in the front leg. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, hand to shin. If you don't have a block, some of you are grabbing the left big toe. My hand's on a block. And then T-shape, 5 cycles of breath. Lift that side waist up. Sharpen the back leg, lift the knee and the thigh, and then spinning that chest up. So you're trying to draw the bottom ribs up as the top ribs release down. And arm up and over for some. 5 cycles of breath here. You can bring the chin into the armpit, or some of you like to look up to that top hand, but it's really more about finding a single point of focus. So if there's any tension in the neck, my neck feels a little bit like a bit funky these days, I tend to look down at the foot. Just drawing your attention in. Just come back to a beginner's mind. You've done this pose 1,000 times, but where can you just refresh it like you're doing it for the very first time? Top arm up. Ardha Chandrasana. Look down. Bend the front knee. Slide the hand forward. Shoulder over the wrist. Good. Now lift that back leg. Look through the body. Make sure you can see that back foot. Top arm up. Some of you are balancing here. It's about spinning the chest, hugging the left hip in. For those who want to take the arm up and over, keep plugging down through your left big toe. So this is where we lose our balance. This is where that tendency where when you fall back, it's because that big toe lifts off the floor. So you can always look down. You'll notice it wants to lift up. Good. Japasana, for my Japasana people, kick the heel to the buttock. If this is hard, this is where I used to go. Knee to chest and then heel to the buttock. It's all good. And lift. Kick that foot up. Lift up. Notice how the chest wants to drop down. Lift it up. Two more cycles of breath wherever you are. If you're ready, you can already come back through Warrior Two. Reverse it, inhale. And windmill the hands to the floor, exhale. We're going to parallel the feet. So we're facing the long way of the mat. Inhale, lift. And so option here, you can grab your big toes. If you're not going upside down, you can grab the big toes with your peace fingers. Others are going to, hands are shoulder distance. And just walk the hands back, drop the head. Option 1, just keep the hands at shoulder distance. Option 2, or option 3 for my tripod headstand people. That's it. Stay here, 5 cycles of breath. Sharpen the legs, squeeze the elbows in. This is live, so this is my husband. That's okay. And start to open the legs, making your way back down if you're inverting. Inhale, lift up halfway. We're going to turn to the top of the mat. Good. Pause here. I'm going to take a twist. Drop the back knee down. Inhale, lift both arms up. Exhale, sink into the front thigh. So my right foot is forward. Doesn't matter which one. We'll just make sure you do both sides. Good. You can keep the back knee down, or I imagine a lot of you are going to lift that back knee up. Stay right here. Lift the chest. Some of you will want to split the arms. You might even want to take a half bind, even a full bind here. Sharpen that extended leg, sink into the front thigh. And let's hop switch, other side. Good, drop the back knee down. It's always nice to come into the twist with the back knee down. Hands at heart center. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, twist. Good, and lift up. 5 cycles of breath. You're really trying to lift those bottom ribs away from the thighs, from the front thigh. Lift up, full bind, half bind. Sharpen that back heel, press it back. Back leg. That's it. You're doing so good. And inhale here. Exhale. Both hands to the floor. Vinyasa or downward facing dog. I'm just going to come into down dog. You take your vinyasa. Inhale. We're going to walk the hands back towards the feet. Vrksasana, our second Vrksasana. Option to take tripod headstand from here if that's part of your practice. If it's not, take Malasana, or you could take a headstand here. Headstand. You could take a headstand, but I was thinking of Malasana, child's pose. So Vrksasana, heel to buttock. Good. You can stay here 5 cycles, or start to lower the head to the floor. Inhale, lift. And you can always take this to the wall. Pause here. Roll the inner thighs back. Squeeze your elbows in. Maybe play with Garudasana in the legs here. Feels really good. And open them up. If you're still with me, other side. And we're going to make our way back. If you want to jump back, float back, you can. And I'm just going to take child's pose. Everyone meet in child's pose. Forehead to the floor. If it feels better in your body, you can reach your arms all the way back. Good. Just keeping the head close to the floor. I'm going to come up into Dolphin Pose. So I can bring the elbows and the forearms onto the floor. And then think of this as tabletop position and on our elbows. Now find cat pose here. Nice. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, dolphin pose. And you're just tiptoeing your feet up towards your elbows, drop the head. So there's lots of gravity here as the head is lovely and heavy. Some of you are just going to stay here. Some of you are just going to lift. Now press that right heel back. And really starting to prep these shoulders for our inversion time. Hug that left hip in. And then other side, left leg straight back. And when you're ready, child's pose. Good work. You're going to stay right there. I'm going to take my mat to the wall. We're going to, if you've got a wall that you can work at, even a door. I should have actually said that at the beginning of class, would have helped. So you might need to pause it for a moment or just take yourself to a wall. Good. If you've got a block, it's great, but if you don't, a book is a great idea. It's just really about the space. And we're going to play with Pincha Mayurasana, Peakcock pose. And again, if you're not in the full expression, or if you're not kicking up today, you can bring your legs up the wall. And the nice way to come in is bring the hip to the wall. You're going to lie all the way down, and then swing your legs up the wall. And your buttock fleshes against the wall, and you're just going to stay here. And really you can use this as a wonderful time just to reflect and just let the body rest and digest. Okay, so that's option 1. Option 2, you can just practice, it's like dolphin pose, but the head is off the floor. Oh, sorry. It is like dolphin pose because your head is off the floor. So we're just going to tuck the toes under. I've got my hands in L shape around the block, and I'm really pressing down through the forefinger thumb. Make sure the elbows are under the shoulders, and you're walking the feet in. Good. Keep looking towards the thumbs. Float that right leg, and maybe your work is here, kicking up. Good. Stay right here. Some of you will be balancing, pressing down to lift up. Press down through the hands, the wrists, the forearms, and the elbows. Take a child's pose in between if you need it. And we'll just play, do it kicking up both sides with different legs. Obviously we've got one leg that's much easier for me to kick up with my right leg, so have a go with kicking up with the left leg. So walk it in, find that cat pose, there it is. Keep cat pose, tuck toes, lift up. Good, now left leg. Maybe you're just going to start with the hop. And make sure you kick up with the inhale. Roll the inner thighs. Take breaks when you need to. Inhale here, exhale here. Good. We're going to start to come up. If you want to stay there and play around a little more with your pincher, you can. And for the rest of us, we're going to turn it around and we're going to come into reverse L. So this is a great pose to see how your strength work is before you kick up into handstand. So, I'm going to turn this. All right, so think of downward facing dog. So bring the blocks shoulder distance. Your heels are up on the wall. Now there's this tendency when you come forward, you want the shoulders over the wrist, but what happens when you're, if you haven't done this pose before, or you haven't done it in a while, the tendency, you feel like you want your hands to be further forward. But just go with me. You want the shoulders over the wrist. Kick the right heel to the buttock. So this is as far as that you need to bring your foot over, up. You don't want to take it all the way up the wall and then turn it down. Good, I haven't got flat walls here, so it's pretty rough. So we're going to just lift up. So this is the hard bit. It's lifting. This is all core work. Yes, there's a lot of shoulder work, but we're going to lift up. And we're right here in this lovely L shape. Some of you are going to stay here. This is step one. Some of you are going to lift that right leg up. Step two. Stay here. 5 cycles of breath. And if you have to come down in between, please honor that. Just go at your own pace. That's it. Some of you will want to change, come down in between. And I'm just going to bring that left leg up. Now, if this is incredibly hard for you, maybe this is where your work is and maybe this is where you stay. Feet are about 1 foot away from the wall. And this is really nice. You can stay in this forward fold. That's it. Notice if the breath has got really choppy. And inhale. Rolling yourself all the way up. Good work, yogis. Now we're going to turn it around, ready for the handstand. So again, if you're not wanting to kick up today, you can maybe even take a single pigeon here. If you're not sure what single pigeon is, or you do and you can't remember. So you're just going to bring that right foot to the left and you're going to stay here. Maybe stay for a minute on each side. Okay? But for the rest of us, we're going to come into downward facing dog. That's it. Inhale. Just step your left foot in. So it just depends what leg you like to kick up with. So I like to kick up with my right leg. So I step the left foot in. So as I do that, shoulders over the wrist. There's cat pose. Lift the right leg up. Look straight down at your thumbs. Inhale, lift. Exhale here. Just look straight down. You can even play with looking all the way up. But just stay here. Don't try and balance.
Just build a little bit of strength and heat. And again, you can just imagine all the junk tumbling out through the crown of the head. Hug the ribs in. Roll the inner thighs. And when you're ready, come halfway down and stay in a forward fold. You can take a forward fold, you can take child's pose. But we're just going to play here. So just play. If you want to do more pincha, you can do more pincha. If you're, just practicing kicking up, it just takes time, and it's hard when you're at home. Like if we were in a class together, I could pull you up. It's really good. But just practice this bit. Think of the top leg as a lever. Push off from the grounded foot. Okay, if you want to start playing with balance, you can bend one knee. Drop the head. I have a tendency to look forward because that's where I was trained. But actually you want to look down at your thumb so the back of the neck is long. That's it. Forward fold. And if you want to play with kicking up with the not so strong leg, see how it feels. A lot of the time we can't even get up because we favor one side of the body more. Okay, so this time I'm going to step the right foot in. Shoulders over. Ooh, just is a bit messy though. That's it. Changing our perspective. I don't know about you, but I haven't been doing as many inversions lately. It's weird. When I always used to go to class, we always did them, and now there's not so many classes. Well, there's especially not in LA, or there's no classes open just yet. So yeah, I'm not kicking up as much. So just play with it and take a few more rounds wherever you're at. So again, I'm going to practice kicking up with the left leg, right leg forward, step it in. Ooh. Another nice thing to do is if you're losing power in the arms because they splay when you kick up, you can put a strap around so they're underneath the elbow, so they're on the forearm. So that's a nice thing to do. Come down into child's pose. If you want to stay kicking up for a little longer, please honor that. I'm going to move into headstand from here. Some of you will have a practice in the middle of the room, which is fantastic. And some of you will be moving, or you're still at the wall, which is also fantastic. So again, choose wisely. Clasp the hands together. Remember, tuck that little pinky finger in and under, so you've got a flat edge. Hands, sides of the hands, wrists, forearms press down. Elbows underneath the shoulder. Come up into that tabletop position, but you're on your elbows. And then you're snuggling and coming all the way down onto the crown of the head. Pause here. Make sure your elbows are in your eye line. And now lift up, find cat pose there. Tuck the toes. Lift the knees. Walk the feet in. Maybe you're just going to stay here. You can kick one heel to the buttock. Maybe that foot's going to the wall. And then pause there. Bring the knees together, maybe both feet into the wall. Pause there. Release the tailbone. And then up. Now lift those shoulder heads up and away from the floor. Stay for 10 cycles of breath. If you want to stay for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. 5 more cycles of breath. If you need to come down, come down. And everyone meet in child's pose. Make sure you've switched sides if you're in single pigeon. And just stay here, 5 cycles of breath. I want to reach my arms back just because it feels better in my body. Some of you might want to reach your hands forward. Some of you might want to make a pillow for the forehead with your hands. Inhale, lifting all the way up. And a back bends. So just drop the hips to the side. Swing your legs out. I always like to take a bridge pose before Urvadanyarasana, but your body's fully prepped. If you want to go straight into Urva, you can. Remember, if you need to go for whatever reason and leave the practice, take Shavasana. Receive the practice and all its benefits. And just give your body a moment to rest. Bridge pose. Inhale, lift the hips. Some of you will keep robot arms. Some of you will grab the edges of the mat. Some of you will clasp the hands together. And then lift up, press down through the big toes so you can lift the hips and the thighs. Press through the backs of the arms so you can lift the sternum. And just visualize the breath coming in through the crown of the head, washing the spine to the tailbone. And then exhale the breath out through the legs, out through the feet. Just finding this grounding breath work. Last one here. And release all the way down. Good, both arms up. You can stay with bridge pose. You can even take a restorative by placing a block underneath the sacrum on any level. Or you can come with me, Urvadanyarasana. Good, both thumbs up. Just rotate the wrists, point and flex. And we're spinning the fingers back towards the feet. And this is how the hands were when we started class in cat-cow. So that's exactly why I did that. So we're just stretching the wrists. Good. Inhale here. Squeeze the elbows in. Exhale. Press through the feet. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale here. Inhale, come to the crown of the head. Breathe in. Exhale here. I like to reset my hands. And inhale, lift up. Stay right here. 5 cycles of breath. Some of you like to play with lifting the heels. Squeeze your outer knees in. Maybe drop the heels back down. Chin to chest. Lowering all the way down. And release. Inhale, arms into T shape, drop both knees over to the left, exhale, and then look to the right, inhale. And other side. Let's take a plow pose before our Shavasana. Hands down. That's it. Hands onto the lower back. Walk the elbows in. Stay here 5 cycles of breath. Just stretching our lower back. Shoulders. If you did want to take a shoulder stand here, you can. I'm just running out of time, so it's amazing how quickly the time goes when you're really in the practice. And when you're ready, grab the edges of the mat and slowly releasing all the way down. And bend the knees and let the knees fall open. Bringing the left hand on the heart, the right hand on the lower belly. Big toes pressing, inhaling through the nose. Big sigh out, exhale. Inhale for 7 counts. Pause and hold, exhale for 8. Inhale for 7. Exhale for 9. Inhale for 7. Exhale for 10. So we're elongating the exhale. Inhale for 7. Exhale for 11. Inhale for 7. Exhale for 12. Inhale for 7. Exhale for 13. Inhale for 7. Exhale for 14. So you're doubling the length of the exhale. Take a deep breath in. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Coming into the most important pose of all, Shavasana. If you need to take any other poses, please honor that. Take whatever you need before your final resting pose. Be sure to let go of the breath and return to normal shallow breathing. And fully surrender to this moment. I highly suggest that you stay in Shavasana and just really receive the practice and all the benefits. But I'm going to come up and close the class out. And if you need to come with me, come with me. Wriggle fingers and toes. Arms up and over, breathe in. Knees into chest, exhale. And then lift up, nose to knee. Squeeze it in. Roll to the side. Pause. And then bringing yourself all the way up. And just sealing it all in. Hands at heart center, chin to chest. Just notice the shift of your energy, the shift mentally in your mind, physically in your body, and most importantly,
and your breath. Take the prayer to third eye. Humbly bow. You're amazing. Namaste.